Okay, so welcome everybody. As you all know, or I suppose you've already seen, this workshop will be recorded. So just to make you aware of that, maybe just a quick sound check. Can everybody hear me okay? Maddie, you seem to be okay with the sound. You could hear me, right? Is everybody else all right with that? You can just put a thumbs up. That'll be great if you can. Yeah, okay. Right, so welcome everybody. This is a workshop on how to study effectively online. I hope it'll be helpful. If you have a question, please don't hesitate to just stop me or put up your hand. Maddie, if I don't see the hand and you see it, please just stop me, interrupt me. I don't mind. We handle the questions as they come up. There will be a Q&A session afterwards as well, if you'd like to keep your question till later. But I really don't mind you stopping me at any point and just asking the question, because I know sitting around and waiting for an opportunity to ask a question is sometimes not so effective. So please feel free to just interrupt me at any point and ask a question. Right, so let's take a look at our slide deck for today. I want to just start with, obviously, the acknowledgement of country. And I'll give you a second just to read through it to make sure that we pay our respects and we make sure to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land. Okay, if we look at our overview for today, I basically want to cover three main things today. First of all, we need to talk about study space and access to technology and the things you'll need. Secondly, how to plan ahead, how to make a plan and how to stick to that plan. And then the third thing I want to look at quickly is where to find help. Okay, so I think these are the most important things if you want to study online, and that's what we will cover today. So if we jump right into it, the first thing is your study space. It's very important to have a dedicated study space that's only for studying. I know that can be difficult sometimes because you might be in a situation where you need to share a space. And then it can be difficult to make a space available for yourself that's only for studying, but this can be really helpful because we are really influenced by environmental factors. Our brain functions in that way, and our behavior is really shaped by our environment. So it's really, it can be really helpful if you can maybe make a space available for yourself only for studying. Or maybe if you're on campus, you can go to the library or dedicated study areas that will allow you to focus only on the studies and to minimize distractions. And that's the main thing with a study space, is to minimize things that might distract you. Okay, some things that we might not think about is the lighting. And this is something that we sometimes take for granted, but it is a really important aspect. And there was a university in Germany who actually did some research on this, and they found that students were able to be more creative when they had warm, more yellowish light when they were studying, and for concentration, on the other hand, bright white light worked better. So it's important for you to think about the lighting in your study space. Obviously, natural light is the best option, but we can't always study during the day, and we don't always have access to natural light. So if you don't, really think about the lighting options. Maybe get a lamp, or if it's a darker study space, and then maybe experiment a little bit with what type of light works well for you. It's really important to think about that. And it can, like we saw now, or with this German study, we can see that it is quite interesting that light can influence us in this way. The next thing we need to think about is the ambient temperature in the room or in the space. A study conducted by Cornell actually found that if the temperature was below 20 degrees Celsius, people were 44% more likely to make mistakes compared to when the temperature was at 25 degrees Celsius, which is considered to be the optimum temperature for studying and concentrating. So if you at all have any power over the temperature in the space that you're studying in, think about that and keep that in mind as well. Right, and then it's very important to have the things with you that you will need. So maybe notebooks or your laptop or pens. If you know you'll get thirsty or hungry, make sure to keep a snack with you, or maybe some water. So have the things available that you will need when you sit down to study or to work on assessments. We'll get to a schedule just now, but this again comes back to minimizing those distractions. So think about the things that you'll need and have those available. And then also think about the things that might distract you, and try to make those things less accessible for yourself. Sometimes we tend to think, especially when we're studying online, obviously I need the internet to study. Obviously I need my laptop to study. But those things can also be very distracting, or some of those elements that you'll find on the internet or on your laptop might also be really distracting. So think about what it is that you're doing. If you're working on an assessment or a specific task, you might find that you will need the internet or your laptop for certain parts, and there might be other parts where you don't need these things. And then it might be a good idea to shut them off, or to shut them down and focus only on the thing that you need to focus on in that moment for that part of the assessment. We tend to think that we need the internet for everything, and this is not always the case. So really think about what it is that you need and try to minimize those distractions. For me, it's very distracting to have my email notifications pop up when I'm working on something. So I turn those off. And the same with other social media notifications, that those can be very distracting. So make sure when you're sitting down in your study space, make sure that you minimize these distractions for yourself. All right. Then in terms of access, obviously you will need your laptop and computer access. But you can also download certain things from the university's website that you might need, free software that is available to you, for example, Office 365, and also Grammarly, which you can use. All right, so it's a good idea to set those up before you start with your first week, because in a 6-week term, it's every second counts, and you need to be ready to go from the first week already. Right, so I also recommend familiarizing yourself with the MySCU portal and your learning sites. Okay, make sure you know where to find your assessments, look at the overview, look at what will be expected of you, and try to familiarize yourself with these sites before you start. That way, when you actually start, you will know exactly where you're going and what is expected of you. Right, so you're not spending time thinking about where to find information. You are ready to take up information. Okay, I see that there's a question in the Q&A, what is Grammarly? So Grammarly is software that you can install on your computer, and it basically checks your grammar. It's like an advanced spell checker, like the one you would find in MS Word, but it has more functions, or it functions even better. So while you type, if you have it installed in your computer, while you type, it constantly checks your language, your grammar, and makes suggestions on how to improve it. All right, so it's a very nice tool to use. And it really can improve the quality of your writing and help you just double check your grammar, spelling, and things like that. So remember, it's not a foolproof plan. You'll obviously also still need to edit your work and go through it, but this is just a tool that you can use that will make this easier for you and help improve your writing. Right. So I hope that answered your question. Right. Let's move on to the next part, which is about making a plan and then sticking to that plan. Okay, you can just ignore this QR code for now. I'll explain to you what that is just in a second. Right, so it's very important for you to plan ahead. With a 6-week term, preparation is very important, preparation and planning, because if you're not exactly where you need to be, or if you're not prepared for what is to come, you can fall behind really easily. Right, so you can prepare a term planner and a weekly planner before each term commences, and I'll show you there are planners that you can use for this purpose. And I'll show you in 1 second where to find them. Okay, and then it's also important to familiarize yourself with your learning sites and the requirements for each unit. Okay, so look, for example, at the referencing style that they ask you to use beforehand. Look at what types of assessments you'll need to do. So make sure you know what is expected of you before you even start. That way you can spend the time in the term actually focusing on doing those assessments. And then you can also complete the compulsory academic integrity module beforehand. Obviously, this is compulsory, but this will also make you more aware of how to use information the correct way, to reference the information, and how to go about using sources. All right, I just want to show you quickly where to find these planners. So just bear with me for 1 second. All right, so if you navigate to the university's website, you can obviously click on current students, and this will take you to this page. If you click on the learning zone, and I'll get back to the learning zone a bit later as well, there is a section called quick guides. And if you click under getting started at SCU, you'll see that there are some planners listed here, which you can use and edit for yourself. You'll see you can download the Word formats, and this will allow you to edit it for yourself and to make up your own planner. It basically looks like this, and when you fill it out, it will look more like this. Right, you will see that each week is planned. Reports, this unit obviously you will need to do a report in. And the student has planned out every step of the assessment to help stick to a timetable and to a plan. So this can be very useful. It will give you a bird's eye view. It will give you the bigger picture, and this will help you stick to your weekly plan. Right, so this is the bigger one. This is the term planner. And then you can also take a look at the weekly planner, which will break it down even more into time slots, what you need to do every day. This can also be very helpful because the term planner, if you look at only the term planner, it can sometimes become a bit overwhelming because there will be maybe a week blocked out for looking for sources and writing your report. But within writing a report, there are many steps. And if you just look at the bigger picture, it can become overwhelming. So we recommend that you break it down and draw up a schedule for yourself. It is very important for you to schedule your plan, because if you don't schedule your plan, not only will it be difficult for you to keep up with the academic work, but you might find that other things might suffer as well. Your mental health might suffer, your physical health might suffer, because you'll find you don't have enough time to balance out everything that needs balancing, right? So you need to balance academic work with social life, with health, downtime, and all these aspects that make up your life. So planning for it makes it a lot easier to handle. All right. So these are some tools that you can use to help you with that. So just to make sure you know where to find them, go to the university's website, current students, and you click on Learning Zone. You will find some quick guides, and they are under Getting Started. So the first one, there you'll find planners. All right. You will also see that there are assessment planners built into your MySCU learning sites. So you can also use them to plan out your weeks or your whole term in terms of your assessments. So that is also a very helpful tool to use. And you'll find them with those assessment planners within your SCU learning sites. Okay, I just want to navigate back to my slideshow. And then I just want to check the questions again, because I think I saw a question. Is it still the same question? Yeah, it's still the same question. Okay. All right, so we were talking about making a plan, familiarizing yourself. Okay, then stay connected. It's very important to stay connected with your tutors and your lecturers via your tutorials or your online lectures, and via your learning sites. Okay, this is very important, but it might not be important for the reason that you're thinking right now. Obviously, this is where you get information, and this is where you where you learn new concepts and things. But there's a different reason for staying connected and for participating in these types of online tutorials. And just to demonstrate that to you, I want to have you do a quick survey. So if you click on that QR code, it will take you to a different screen. I just want to share that screen out with you. Trying to juggle all these screens. Right. So if you click on that QR code that you just saw, it will take you here. Okay, do I need to navigate back to that QR code quickly, or did you all get it? Anybody? Should I navigate back to the QR code, or did you manage to scan it already? If you manage to scan it, you can just answer the question. It asks, how long in minutes is the attention span of a student, do you think? If you had to take a guess, some of you might know. But I want you to quickly think about this, and just before you fall asleep, because I've maybe already gone past your attention span, try to answer this question quickly and see if you can guess. I'm just going to refresh it. You guys able to submit questions? Submit answers, I mean? Didn't get the code, so you guys struggling with the codes. Let me just navigate back to that screen quickly. see if I can just share my whole screen. Might be easier. Okay, so this will be the question. Here's the QR code. Okay, is that better? Sorry. Thank you for posting that link as well. Yeah, I see 3 to 5 minutes, somebody said in the Q&A section. Anybody else want to try and guess? "40 minutes," Joy said. Anyone else? All right. Is this not working, guys, the Mentimeter? If it doesn't work, just post in the Q&A section. Doesn't matter, it'll do the same thing. Yeah, this doesn't seem to be working. Right. Hey guys, see if we have any other guesses in the Q&A. 45 minutes, 40 minutes. Anything else? Right, so yes, I heard somebody saying something. Did you have a comment? Just repeat that, I couldn't hear, sorry. 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes? Anyone else? Right. So the reason I asked this question, and we have quite a couple of guesses. Some of you are correct, more correct. Others are farther from the correct answer. People usually accept that we have about 45 minutes. We can concentrate for about 45 minutes. But recent research has shown that the new normal for the new average for concentration is about 15 minutes. Right, people can concentrate for about 15 minutes and then your concentration will start to go. But why am I mentioning this to you? One of the reasons why one of the tips for online study is to stay connected and to participate in online tutorials and online classes is that it's really easy to lose concentration. despite the fact that we have about 15 minutes of concentration and then it goes, when we're doing online study, it's a lot easier to lose your concentration. So it's very important for us to stay connected and to participate in these classes and tutorials, because it's a way for us to keep our concentration where it's supposed to be. When you're asking questions or making comments or participating in a poll or whatever, it is easier. You're forcing yourself to keep your concentration where it's supposed to be. Some studies have actually mentioned that they think the attention span of most people are a lot less, even as short as 8 seconds, because they say that's how long you look at a website before you decide whether you like it or not, or whether you want to navigate to the next one. So we constantly have different things competing for our attention, especially in the time that we're living in now. So it's very important for us to find ways to keep our concentration where it's supposed to be. And participating in online lectures or taking notes, asking questions is one way for us to keep that concentration where it's supposed to be. Right, so staying connected is very important, not just with connection with your tutors and your lecturers, but also to connect with peers. You can use the discussion boards on your learning sites, or you can create or join a study group. Make sure you feel connected and you stay connected. Right, then the last thing, where to find help. Sometimes you will find that you run into a problem or you do need some help, even if you've planned and you're staying connected and all these things, but sometimes you will need some support. And then you will need to know where to find it. Right, so there are academic support that you can access and other types of support. In terms of overall other support, we have the Self-Help Hub that is located on MySCU on your Blackboard site alongside your learning materials. And you can access all these topics there. They have some tip sheets, guided tutorials, articles and podcasts that you can look at. This is also a support module that you can access, the Respected SCU module. It helps us to understand what it means to be respectable at Southern Cross. Goodness, I don't know why this is going so quick. Right, so this will also help us help you to navigate the new environment, and help you to know where to find support, because it's this module, which is also compulsory, this unit for all students, will also provide avenues on how to seek support. All right, so that is something that you can look at. And then there are also some group sessions in terms of counseling. The counseling teams have seen, based on other student feedback, that it might be helpful to have group sessions like these. So they have mental health group sessions that you can join. Right, then for academic support, you can go to the Student Learning Zone. The Student Learning Zone can offer a number of resources to help you. Basically, they can help in 2 ways. There are a lot of self-help support guides and things that you can access, or you can talk to somebody in person if you like. In terms of the self-help, I just want to show you quickly, make sure you know about this learning zone. You'll remember that I navigated to the learning zone earlier. So you'll remember coming to this page, clicking on the learning zone, and then you can find a bunch of self-help resources here. You can go to the Study Hub, where they have different sections on reading, writing, types of assessments, how to prepare for them. And then you can click through these they are a bit more comprehensive, and they feel a bit like learning units. So if you've got some time to work through them, they are incredibly helpful. If you're looking for something a bit more to the point and more concise, you can go to the quick guides. There are a bunch of quick guides I showed you earlier. Those quick guides on the planning quick guides, but there are quick guides on various other topics. There's one for writing, types of assessments, and if you open them, you will find a resource that looks like this. They're usually only a couple of pages, and you can go through them. These are obviously very specific. You can look at recorded workshops on certain topics, for example, referencing. So there are some recorded workshops that you can look at, and then some how-to videos as well, which obviously will take you to some pre-recorded videos. So there you have a couple of self-help resources that you can access. But if this is not enough and you feel you need to speak to somebody, then you can also talk to a learning advisor or a PALS mentor. Learning advisors and PALS mentors are more for academic support. A learning advisor will help you, give you some specific feedback on a draft or help with specific assessments. They do study skill coaching and helping with research. PALS are peers who have done the units before, so they will help with more, they can give you a more lived experience and tell you what worked for them. So PALS are only available for certain units, and I'll show you those units just now. Learning advisors, you can make an appointment with a learning advisor regardless of the units you are taking. So they are not unit specific. There's the learning advisor team, if you want to take a quick look. But we're already over the time, so I'm just going to run through these quickly. A learning advisor appointment offers a 30-minute personalized consultation. You can do an online Zoom session or a face-to-face meeting or a phone conversation Monday to Friday, and they operate on Queensland time. If you want to make an appointment, you go to the Career Hub, login. I'm going to log in as a staff member, obviously, but you will log in as a student. And then you can navigate to Learning Zone appointments, personalized advice, click there. And here you can make appointments. You can also book here for PALS mentors, right? There they are. If you leave these two fields on any, it's the best way to go, because then you'll see all the available appointments. If you click on them, then you can see which days have appointments available. And if you click on the 21st, for example, you will see the time slots and the learning advisors that are available to help you. So then you can book appointments, 30-minute appointments with these advisors, and they spend the 30 minutes with you and work through your draft or do a topic analysis with you or give advice according to what it is that you said you needed. Usually you can upload a draft to this appointment, so the learning advisors have a bit of time to prepare before the appointment, and then you can make use of that 30 minutes optimally. Okay, so I showed you how to book. If you have difficulties booking, you can go to the Learning Zone, or you can send an email to this email address and ask them to help you book an appointment. Sorry, let me just navigate back to that. Okay. Any questions? Just want to look at the Q&A section quickly. Right. Oops, sorry. Right, I don't see any questions there. Does anybody have a question maybe that they would like to ask? I don't see any hands. Did I miss any questions here? Will this recording be sent to us? Taylor, I'm not sure if it was sent to you directly. The last I heard, they will upload it to the site. As far as I know, I'm not sure if it's going to go on the website or if it's going to go on Blackboard, but they said they will make it available. Not immediately, but within a short amount of time. They said they would make them available. Why
I
do
can
you
just
ask?
confirm that if
Sorry,
you'd like. I can just confirm that if you'd like.
please, Maddie, do you know more
Yes,
about that?
perfect. Yes, so the orientation module that you've just completed will stay open in your Blackboard site. So the orientation links that you're accessing for these kind of videos, they will be uploaded to that kind of page that you've already accessed. But like Nicole said, it will take up to 2 weeks for them to edit it and then upload it for you.
Thank you so much. Couldn't remember where they said they would post it. Just remembered that they would. Okay, my next orientation was at 4:30. Will that be online? I am not sure, but I am sure it will be.